step up to fight against the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. The Houses of Parliament in Cameroon go on recess after 30 days of deliberations marked by the adoption of a barrage of bills of national and international interest. The 7th edition of the International Agricultural and Food Processing Fair opens in Yaoundé with a big window on made in Cameroon products. Those are our lead stories. Hello and thanks for joining us. I am Ben Menopufong and this is the 7:30 News.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.
You're welcome once again. The government of Cameroon has gone on the offensive in its drive to boost the number of people vaccinated against COVID-19 in the country. A mass vaccination campaign to this effect went underway nationwide today with ambition to reach out to as many Cameroonians as possible. Nuea Ben Mudika made a round of some of the vaccination centers in Yaoundé and observed that after a frustratingly sluggish start, popular response was more favorable now than before.
About 10 a.m. at the Ctv hospital. Still early and no one is here yet for the vaccine. But hospitalized patients, those consulting and their caretakers are actively being sensitized on the merits of the campaign.
We organize ourselves to two teams. One here to vaccine people who are coming for other consultation, people who are coming to take their vaccine, and people who came to see the patient who are hospitalized. All of those people we try to tell them what about this vaccine, how to take the vaccine, and tell them that the vaccine is there.
Out there in the quarters, some will just pass by, but a 72-year-old lady invites the mobile team to her house for the jab, while a man does not mind taking his by the roadside. At the Jungolo Hospital, 8 persons have been here since morning, with 10 others coming for follow-up vaccines.
Now people come for the vaccination because they see it on TV and they have heard a lot of things about it, so they just come to vaccinate, not for a particular reason but for their health, and they are reacting well.
With the door-to-door approach and the ongoing mobilization campaign over the media, it is hoped that doubt and resistance would eventually give way to vaccine compliance.
The mass anti-COVID vaccination campaign that will run from today till the 11th of this month has incorporated mobile teams that are combing neighborhoods, persuading residents to come out for the shots. Besides the mobile teams, the door-to-door strategy and the pitching of tents in some major road junctions have also been associated to the strategy. Beatrice Ngum trailed one of the mobile teams and now reports on how their day unfolded.
They have come from Bala 5 with an empty vaccination kit. They will be leaving loaded. The nurse on call, after a briefing with them, fills their vaccination kits with doses of Sinopharm and AstraZeneca, and off they are gone. On arrival at the vaccination points at Etouamiki, they pitch their makeshift stand. Every member of the team, from those taking down medical reports to those sensitizing the population and vaccinators, their roles are specific.
Many come out of curiosity. We talk to them about the vaccines, tell them which one is available. We find out from them if they are hypertensive, diabetic, or have breathing problems. From this, we know if they are eligible or not for the vaccine.
10 minutes after settling, their skills are put to test. One person has come knocking. Another comes ready to receive the jab.
I saw COVID patients on oxygen. I got scared. It spurred me to get the vaccine.
Edith, the vaccinator, and her team are conscious. Teamwork and collaboration is essential to get people interested in the boosters. The day starts slowly, but they remain hopeful things will get busy as the campaign gathers steam.
The campaign also kicked up in the West region, with health officials encouraging the population to adhere to the vaccination exercise to save lives. The peculiarity of the campaign in that part of the country is the vaccination of over 300 inmates of the Bafoussam Central Prison, as Kevin Nembo reports.
It is a campaign to save lives, and the population of the Western region have become conscious of the need for them to get vaccinated. This is the case of Gabriel Fotsing, who received his first dose in one of the vaccination centers at the Bafoussam Palace courtyard. At the Bafoussam Central Prison, over 200 inmates received their first dose of either the AstraZeneca or Sinopharm vaccine on day one of the campaign. The Public Health Ministry dispatched teams to all the 8 divisions.
There has been a lot of mobilization, and right now in the field we have more than 50 social mobilizers and also several vaccinators in the field for the vaccination going on right now.
At the level of the West Regional Capital City, where 4 vaccination centers are fully operational, there are the Bafoussam Regional Hospital, the International Vaccination Center, Famla District Hospital, and Jeleng Medical Center. Health officials have also been telling the population that whether vaccinated or not, the respect of all COVID-19 barrier measures remain an absolute necessity for common good. The campaign ends on July 11, but vaccination will continue.
And now on to other developments in the news. The Houses of Parliament in Cameroon have gone on recess after 30 days of intense deliberations marked by the adoption of a barrage of bills. Speaking as he closed the session at the Upper House of Parliament, President Marcel Nyadjifenji urged his peers to serve as relays and spokespersons in the ongoing campaign against COVID-19 in the country. Senate correspondent Charles Anyangwe reports.
For the past 30 days, members of the Upper House of Parliament exercised their constitutional mission by adopting 7 bills and had fruitful discussions with members of government on some topical issues. One of them was the ratification of the treaty establishing the African Medicine Agency, which gave the opportunity for Senate President Marcel Nyadjifenji to mention the COVID-19 pandemic at this closing ceremony. He recalled the importance of the COVID-19 vaccination campaign launched by the government and called on senators and local authorities to act as relays in sensitizing their populations to be vaccinated against the pandemic. As concerns the country's external debt, Senate President urged Cameroonians to look at it in a different and positive way, reassuring them that our external debt remains till date sustainable. With regards to the increase in the price for the acquisition of normal passport from 75,000 francs to 110,000 francs, Senate President called on public authorities to ensure that all the bad practices decried by the population should disappear. He also talked about the budgetary orientation debate, which he described as the best way to prepare the state budget for 2022. He also praised government for its efforts in tackling the crisis in the northwest and southwest regions. Shortly after the closing ceremony, some 6 senators and a staff of the Upper House of Parliament were awarded medals for meritorious services rendered to the state.
The President of the Republic recognized these services and decided to give me this medal, and I can thank him very much.
Bouquets of flowers were handed over to the happy recipients.
And at the National Assembly, House Speaker Kavai Yege-Jibril laid emphasis too on the fight against the coronavirus pandemic as a collective civic responsibility for which each and every Cameroonian should commit themselves, particularly by having themselves vaccinated. Speaking as he closed the deliberations for the second ordinary session of the 2021 legislative year, the Right Honourable Speaker also enjoined the government to between the African Cup of Nations. Kmer reports on today's closing plenary.
An intense session wrapping up with a feeling of accomplishment for the legislators who had no respite with the adoption of 7 bills and the holding of special plenaries on water and energy deficits, land reforms and the universal health coverage. They are urged to face today's realities.
I would therefore reiterate, to be vaccinated is to protect yourself, your acquaintances. It is to reduce the spread of COVID-19 and protect our beloved country against a new variant of the pandemic.
The country must stand up to a successful hosting of the African Nations Cup in January next year, and the responsibility lies on every Cameroonian.
Let us shun the internal squabbles plaguing sports in general and football in particular. Let us put an end to misinformation on social media.
In recognition of the service rendered to the states, 7 lawmakers received distinctions, a reward of value.
The great chancellery of our orders is now going on the good path, not expecting people to ask, but designating people and recognizing them.
It's a reward for hard work and commitment, and it gives us more motivation to do more.
With the curtains drawn on the June session, now it's time for parliamentary accounts in constituencies.
The peculiarity of the June session at the National Assembly was the convening of 4 special plenary sittings, during which the provisions of social amenities and the institution of universal health coverage in Cameroon came under scrutiny. Most importantly, however, was the budgetary orientation debate, where the executive and the legislative exchanged on the mid-term budgetary orientation of the country for the period spanning 2022 to 2024. Once again, Esther Kmer reports.
30 hectic days to legislate and effectively control government action is what it was for the lawmakers.
The control of government action was so serious. The Minister of Water and Energy was taken into tax. The Minister of Land Tenure.
Preparation for the budget in November. I think that we have given our views, and we are hoping that when we come in November, we will be able to see some of the things.
The macroeconomic outlook debated on was fulfilling.
They give us the opportunity to give our own ideas of what we think the budget is supposed to be orientated.
I'm satisfied with the quality of the debate, the orientation that should take in consideration the population demands.
The growth projection of 4.4% and priority programs were equally questioned.
When you take the situation of the Northwest and Southwest, we are given the credits, but projects are not executed. Why? Because of the situation we know.
You cannot announce to us that you have defined the priorities, but you present us a document with hundreds of projects. It is not realistic.
By and large, the inputs made during the session will likely influence development policies.
1,000 new voters have been electoral registers in Cameroon since the start of the voter registration exercise this year. The figures were disclosed today in Yaoundé by the chairperson of the Electoral Board of Ilekam, Eno Abrams Egbe, at the start of the second ordinary session of the board for 2021. Ebenezer Kanga has a breakdown of the figures.
Opening the second ordinary session of the Electoral Board of Elections Cameroon, Elekam, for 2021, the chairperson of the board, Eno Abrams Egwe, gave an update of the annual revision of electoral registers since the exercise started on the 2nd of January 2021. He expressed satisfaction that from the timidity observed in the beginning due to restrictions imposed by COVID-19, the trend and enthusiasm in voter enrollment have significantly improved. As of 30th June 2021, 71,000 newly enrolled voters have been registered. Pending the close and cleaning up of the registers, the total number of registered voters now stands at 6,927,859.
I wish to commend and congratulate the Director General of Elections for the dynamic coordination work in the field, the tenor of this encouraging result despite the challenging context of the pandemic.
The second ordinary session of the Electoral Board of Elekam for 2021 will evaluate activities carried out by the institution during the just ended quarter, as well as examine and adopt the terms of reference for the forthcoming field trip of the Electoral Board.
Thanks for watching the 7:30 news on the Cameroon Radio Television, the CRTV, as we broadcast live from Yaoundé. The 2021 International Agricultural Food Processing Fair, codenamed Siali, which is underway at the National Museum here in Yaoundé, and it started today. The fair is a veritable window for the exhibition of made-in-Cameroon products. From improved seedlings to processed food items, there is just so much to discover at the exhibition stands. Lumuslim Davis reports that Cameroonians are eagerly exploring all that it takes to enhance the sector.
The Agriculture and Agro-Food Exhibition is conceived to structurally transform the natural productive fabric to sustainably fast-forward industrialization.
Our country has industrial master plan that is at this moment being built, and in this industrial master plan we have a number of actions that we will have to put on place in order to make the value of the product grow by the transformation and by the amelioration, the enhancing of the quality of this product.
The Minister of Mines, Industries and Technological Development, Gabriel Dodondoke, said the event was a vast opportunity for business operators to interact with local and international investors. Gabriel Dodondoke lauded the exhibition and agro-food exhibition for their commitment, which is the mark of Cameroon's drive towards emergence.
The 3-year Special Youth Plan instituted by the President of the Republic has financed over 400 individual youth projects to the tune of over 637 million CFA francs in the Northwest region. The figures were disclosed by the officials of the Regional Delegation of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, who also announced that some 682 young persons have enrolled with the National Youth Observatory in all the 34 subdivisions of the region. Kilo Valorin Satla reports on how much the plan has been empowering youths in the region.
2020, 7 million CFA francs of the 3-year Special Presidential Youth Plan is pumped into this carpentry workshop at Malfolkwen in Bamenda.
We can have about 80 to 100,000 francs per week, which means that in the month that we have worked well, we can have about 300 to 400,000 francs per month.
3 employees are involved, with a pay package ranging from 35,000 CFA francs to 60,000 CFA francs monthly.
Since I was employed by my boss, I usually say that with my family, we maintain ourselves, and my children, they go to school, and I'm a father of 5.
Epileptic electricity supply and limited equipment are an impediment.
In my 4-year, lights come only at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and so in the morning, the whole morning we cannot work. Of course, the machines that we have are not yet enough.
The program is perceived as a therapy for youth unemployment.
The beneficiary has to be between 15 years old to 35 years old, no matter the sex, whether female or male, with an innovative project.
Over 680 youth in the Northwest have registered to benefit from the presidential plan this year.
A major innovation being announced in the issuance of passports in Cameroon is the pre-enrollment stage, which takes place online. At the pre-enrollment platform, applicants log in their personal details and make the requisite payments, then book an appointment at a physical location. Eve Fomuso reports on how the whole process plays out.
The only trick begins with a click on the website.
www.passcam.cm. Upon reading and accepting the terms, phone details are required, and immediately an SMS bearing a password is sent by the system. The enrollment proper starts. Our user, Marcel, selects passport renewal. He moves the cursor to personal info where he fills in data on his date, place of birth, residence, and parents. A pop-up page with all the applicant's information appears for Marcel to scroll down and verify his complete details. Once confirmed, he will have to choose the method of payment, electronic or mobile money services, and of course fill in payment details for which a page confirming payment shows up. Finally, the user will have to take an appointment in a physical location where he's expected, with physical copy of documents and the capture of biometric data including facial scans, fingerprints and digital signatures.
Despite our efforts, COVID-19 plunged many families into mourning and seriously hampered the functioning of our economy and society.
As the mass immunization campaign against COVID-19 goes underway nationwide, health experts are affirming that one of the reasons why people are scared of the vaccination is fear of the undesired effects of the vaccine. Baldwin Sama and his guest, Dr. Andreas Sinjar of the National Immunization Program, explain how the incident of secondary effects of the vaccine are being managed. They are at the Public Health Emergency Operations Center here in Yaoundé. Hello, Baldwin.
Good evening to you, Ben Menopufon. What is certain is that most of those who had themselves vaccinated this Wednesday, some of them must have noticed some secondary effects after being vaccinated. How do these effects look like, and what are some of the measures to be taken when you notice some of these effects? Let's discuss that tonight with Dr. Andreas Sinjar of the National Immunization Program. Good evening to you, Doctor.
Good evening, Baldwin.
How do some of these effects look like when you have had yourself vaccinated, some of these secondary effects, and what should be done by somebody who has noticed some of these effects?
Okay, thank you so much. The first thing to note is that adverse events following immunization are not too common. So, and even when they occur, most of the time they are minor. It could be a fever, headache, body pain, and whenever this happens, the first thing to do is to notify the health team. You can equally call 1510. The health team is there to answer your call. And for any case, if it is a severe presentation, of course, in every health district, there is a trained team in the respective health facility, hospitals, that will manage the case.
Thank you so much, Dr. Andreas Sinjar, for that reassurance. If you notice any of these secondary effects, simply dial 1510, for example, and you get the necessary answers to the main worries as to what you are feeling at that particular point in time. Back to you, Ben Menopufo.
Thank you very much, Baldwin Sama. The open days of the Audiovisual Heritage Training and Conservation Institute of the CRTV, which began Monday, have ended with veteran journalist Alain Belibi featuring as the main guest. The representative of the Director General of the corporation, Ibrahim Sharif, who closed the event, reiterated the place of the prestigious institute, which has trained some 2,000 audiovisual professionals since its creation in 1983. Ewane Epole covered today's activities for the 7:30 News.
CRTV's Audiovisual Heritage Training and Conservation Institute, EFCP, as patron of the 2019-2021 batch, Alain Belibi was guest of honor at the closing ceremony of the Open Door Days. The occasion, presided over by the Central Director for Television, Ibrahim Sharif, representative of the Director General, was to celebrate talents in the audiovisual professions. CRTV's veteran journalist Alain Belibi's professional career in journalism was presented in a documentary. Meanwhile, icons like Robert Ekokole and Dr. Francois Macmozom, among others, took part in a roundtable debate enlightening students on the ethics and deontology of audiovisual professions.
Belibi Alain is a rolling stone that gathers a lot of moss. Be it on radio, on television, you see it's the same performance that you get. When you have somebody like Alain Belibi as your godfather or like your mentor, I think that you should be able to emulate that kind of example. It doesn't come easy, it comes with a lot of hard work.
The forum was to showcase the different fields of professional courses offered at the Crtv's Institute, Fcfa, that has trained about 2,000 professionals since 1983, when the school was created.
The mobile money service of Cameroon's mobile telephone service provider Orange Cameroon, known as Orange Money, is 10. Since its launch in 2011, the Orange Money service has continued to evolve to satisfy its clients, individual, corporate, and government bodies. We have the rest of that story with Irene Manti Ayonge of Crtv Center.
It is all about celebration, celebrating 10 years of a strong impact on individuals' daily lives and on economies. Over the past years, the Orange Money offer has been significantly expanded to include international money transfers, bill payments, wage payment services, digitalization of counters, merchants, and online payments, and many other services. A major innovation is the interoperability accessibility service through GMAC, implemented in 2020. This large-scale project seeks to increase financial inclusion in the CEMAC region. Launched since 2011, Orange Money has made real contributions to the economic and social development in Cameroon.
We are celebrating the success of 10 years of operations with partners that have given us confidence, with customers that have been here with us. More than plus 7 million Cameroonians today are using Orange Money, with more than 3 million active transactions and customers in our base. We're saying thank you to all the people watching, and we're saying thank you to our partners. And as you know, we've come a long way, first from individual transactions to company transactions, and tomorrow we'll be bringing more. So stay with us and keep trusting us and keep giving us your confidence, and you will enjoy our services. Thank you very much for celebrating our 10 years anniversary. Orange Money, your family and your business partner forever.
Speaking at the anniversary celebration, the Director General of Orange Cameroon, Frederic Debord, thanked all their partners for being part of their dream as the leaders of mobile payments in Cameroon. He nonetheless enumerated some challenges the Orange Money services has gone through since its inception, such as all kinds of scams and frauds, the interruption of service availability linked to occasional cuts of optic fiber, and the maintenance, especially sales service, to cyber thieves. High point of the event was a cutting of the anniversary cake and merrymaking in the company of his partners and officials of the Ministry of Finance and representative of the governor of the Central Region.
In sports, Elite One Football Championship in Cameroon is back on the pitches 5 weeks after it slumped into oblivion. The championship resumed with day 10 matches played across the country today, with Tonnerre of Yaoundé start off to a flying start, humbling Young Sports Academy 2-0 at the Yaoundé Amadou Ahidjo Stadium, while several times champions Coton Sport of Garoua were stunned 1-0 by Apages of Mfu. Daniel Ekonde has both the highlights of those matches and the results of the others.
Mid-table Tonnerre seized their home advantage at the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium to beat Young Sport Academy 2-0 in Group B of the Elite One. The two teams had separated goalless a week ago in a delayed match in Bamenda, but Tonnerre kept their calm this time and struck decisively, despite Yosa threatening in the early half. Tonnerre forced a penalty on 48 minutes, and experienced keeper Pierre-Sylvain Abogo stepped forward to put the home side ahead. Yosa responded with a lame shot from sub Emmanuel Agbo. The failure turned against them as Tonnerre's Anaba Etogo found space in the box to head freely, giving Tonnerre a 2-0 win.
What is Jerome going to do? He tries to beat one player with a long cross of the ball. Goal! For Apages that succeeds to open scores.
In the second Group B game, Apejes Mfu stunned leaders Coton Sport 1-0. Substitute Christophe Boris lashed from a close distance on 76 minutes to give Apejes fourth win in a game largely dominated by Coton Sport. In the other day 10 games, Astre held Canon to a 1-1 draw. Stade Rennais beat Fufu Club 1-0. Colombe were 3-0 winners over New Stars. PWD Bamenda separated goalless with their on the foot.
Now on to our series on the readiness of Cameroon to host the 2021 African Cup of Nations. Focus tonight is still on the Garoua pool and the efforts being made by the business community to help the North region smoothly host the Continental Football Jamboree. Gilbert Ongene talked with some of these business persons in Garoua who told him they are putting in their best for a successful event in their city.
The teeming population of the North Regional Capital, Garoua, is mobilizing to give an exceptional touch to the Continental Football Jamboree. This business magnate in Garoua says they are dotting the I's and getting the T's in order to accompany government in the organization of a memorable AFCON come January.
I have acquired a new generator for any eventual electricity outage. We are also refurbishing houses and equipping them to welcome guests.
They envisage the tournament as a unique opportunity for them to showcase the legendary hospitality of the northern regions and Garoua in particular to the outside world.
The pool that will be in Garoua will receive the best in terms of hospitality and comfort.
CAF haven't shoved aside past apprehensions on the hosting of the continental competition by Cameroon. The people of Garoua are proud and happy that the infrastructure that have seen the light of day here would contribute to the beauty of the city even after AFCON 2021.
The 7:30 news on the Cameroon Radio Television, the CRTV. That's the way it was this Wednesday evening. Thanks for the privilege of your company. Bye-bye.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.
Parlons de village. C'est grâce au leader si j'y mets les pieds. La maison de mon père s'écroulait. Mon frère Roger qui est là-bas m'a dit « Je peux m'en occuper si vous m'aidez ». Avec les autres, on s'est unis. On envoyait de l'argent à Roger qui s'occupait de tout via son téléphone. C'est comme ça qu'on a réussi à retaper la maison de papa, pile poil avant la date du 10e anniversaire de sa mort. Et aujourd'hui, mes enfants connaissent la terre de leurs ancêtres.
Orange Monnaie, leader du paiement mobile au Cameroun.